Baja mode, and he beat me. I don't know what happened there. We're coming to you live where one Mizer brother that's absolutely great looking is standing beside hold on. Yes, I'm getting something else. He's standing beside someone who's not as good looking, who's also a Mizer brother.
Yeah, this guy.
Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. We're gonna show you an update on every single vehicle that we have going right now. What all does that include, Sam?
We got the GT350, we got the new Bronco, we got the old Bronco, we got the Wolf, we got the Hammer.
Every vehicle's got something cool going on right now, and you're gonna see every bit of that in this video.
So we stopped by here at Mighty Muffler. I've got the Hammer here. I've got everything fixed with my cats now. The only problem I got is I've had that off and on so many times. A lot of those clamps, they're broke now. Not getting good clamping power, so I've got a few exhaust leaks, and as you guys know, that ain't good. So what we're going to do is we're going to have them cut some of that off, weld it up for us, get rid of some of those clamps, and let me let you hear what it sounds like. You're going to have to see where these exhaust leaks are. You kind of got to climb up under there to the Y pipe to be able to see it and hear it. Since you're holding the camera, Brad, I need you to climb up under there and show them.
Oh my goodness.
You hit your head up here.
Oh.
Come on, man.
All right, give me the camera. It's got a jacked up clamp here. Whoa! Got water shooting out right there. That's hot water. It just about burned my face.
I told you to put your head up here.
Man, you're trying to kill me. Here we go. That's a little better. I had water coming off the AC compressor onto the exhaust and then like scalded my arm. But he's got leaks right here. He's got leaks right here. He's got a leak over there. So we'll cut all that out and make it sound better.
We'll come back when they get this finished up. I'll get you some footage afterwards and let you guys know how what are you doing, man?
I like your tag. It's more interesting than anything you're saying. It'll get you footage later. We're here at Hooters with the 21 Bronco. We're actually at Mr. Cool, but it's right beside Hooters. And I just wanted to film this here. But Corsa just reached out, Corsa Performance, made a pretty good partnership with those guys on exhaust systems for all of our builds. And they're finishing up right now their system for the new 21 Bronco. So we'll be one of the first people in the country to have that on. Right now you can see, I'll just jump down here. You've got a big suitcase style muffler and then one turn down tip over here. And you can barely hear this exhaust. What we're gonna have is this will go away. It's a full catback system, so it'll bolt in right behind a Y pipe up front. The muffler will move to the center of the vehicle. This will be gone, and then we'll have dual exit with big 4-inch black tips back here. So not that we're gonna make a 2.7 sound mean, but we're gonna have a mean looking set of tips out the back. It will be louder, and with Corsa, as always, no drone.
We're going to get to the Bronco right here in a minute. They're going to finish up with an alignment. But first, let's talk about the big news for the GT350.
So we got lucky, guys. Not because we're ignorant PF chains. I mean, I consider that pretty lucky too. But we got lucky because Fathouse Fabrication is actually doing the twin turbo kit on the new Shelby GT500 Code Red. So it's a collaboration between Ford, Shelby, and Fathouse Fabrication. It's that new wide body in the rear GT500 where they put Fathouse's twin turbo kit on there, and that's a pretty custom kit. We've looked at that pretty in depth because we have a 2020 GT500 coming. So we were supposed to be waiting until about January, and today is like very first part of September, to be able to get our GT350 up to Fathouse for the Whipple kit. But when they announced that Code Red, a bunch of people dropped out of the Supercharger program and wanted to switch to turbos. Not 1300 horsepower Code Red, but just some type of turbo application with Motec, which is sweet. And we almost made that decision ourselves. We actually sat for about half a day and went all over the pros and cons. We were on phone calls with them and batted it around, and we realized we want to stay Whipple on this car and keep our horsepower level around 800 and our torque right below that, because we are making a road car out of this, not a drag car. not a roll race car. We're gonna do that stuff, probably against everything on our channel and then some, but it's truly a car that we can drive 30 minutes to the Dragon and really shred with and be driving a manual. And that's not the car to throw to us 1200 horsepower through and then it only be a roll race car, because it's hard to drag race and win when you're rolling a 6-speed instead of somebody else's automatic that's changing gears like that, like on the Wolf. So they call us and say, we can take your car now. And I think like 9 hours later, they were down here with an enclosed trailer picking that up. I'll show you that pickup right now. So John from Fathouse hot shotted right down, loaded it up, strapped it down, and they're gonna take the car straight up to Fathouse, do a pre-dyno. So they'll put it on there and see what it pulls to begin with. And remember, it's got 35,000 miles on it, Gen 1 motor for the 350. Then they'll do a compression and leak down test on every cylinder, and they'll make sure that the motor's actually good and everything's healthy before they start the tear down and to put the Whipple on. And they have some proprietary Fathouse parts that they've built that look better, fit a little better, and make that overall install just a little bit nicer. What are you doing?
I'm jamming to the music, man.
Is this your favorite Chinese
It's my
restaurant?
third favorite song at P.F. Chang's. Got a few options for you guys on brakes on the GT350. So we could go back with the factory rotors, because the ones that are on there are a little, they're wore out. They need a little TLC. They make an upgraded rotor, and it's a little bit more performance oriented. They're still a steel rotor, 2-piece design and everything. But if we wanted to really go all out, we could go carbon ceramics, and that's starting to get a little expensive. It's not as expensive as you would think it is. It's not 20 or 30 grand like on these supercars, but it's still 4 or 5 grand at least, and that's with us installing them ourselves. If you didn't know, carbon ceramics really don't fade. You can go out and beat on them all day at a racetrack, and you're just going to wear out brake pads. Those carbon ceramic rotors, they take the heat, they keep going. There's literally no fade after a long track session. Given the usage for this car, we're going to go out and give it heck on the back roads. We may eventually get it to a track or something. Is that a good place to spend that extra money? It's a lot, guys. What should we do with the brakes on the 350? This thing is light years better than it was before. It's good and tight now. It does have a tendency to want to kind of stay going to the left or stay going to the right. I'm not sure what that's about. We'll probably end up changing some bushings and a few things down here in the steering and suspension. We'll get that new lift put on and tighten up some of that. But she's getting real close to being cherry.
That don't sound too bad.
It ain't got that flair that we have on this channel. I think we're gonna have to do something a little upgraded on this thing. Maybe some headers, get rid of these cats, let Corsa hook us up with a nice muffler to put on it. This thing will sound a whole lot better.
So we're finally picking up about a 2-week process to get this round of, I guess we'll call this repairs. There's a few mods in here we'll talk about, but it's mainly repairs. So we got a new oil pan and obviously a gasket for that, a new transmission seal down there. We got a new rear main seal. So all that was leaking, like every bit of it was. When the rear end was leaking, we decided we were gonna do a gear swap anyway. So RM Motorworks has already changed these to a 455 gear. We put LSD limited slip diffs in the front and the rear diffs. So this thing is a lot more off-road worthy now. It's also like late summer here. It's hot and the AC wasn't blowing just right. So we brought it here and they got the AC taken care of. So we're running a lot cooler now. Sam, why don't you just go and hop under there real quick?
I know.
Just hop under there. Here, let me help you. There you go. Turn it around. Hey, turn the camera around, Sam.
All right, we're under here. We got a new gasket here, got a new seal, also got a new oil pan. So we're leak free under here for now. We do have some AC line condensation, which we're not used to having, but we do have a puddle now. We didn't have any AC before, so heck yeah, we can actually drive this thing without sweating a puddle. And let's also go up in the front. Brad forgot to mention we got a new steering gear on this thing.
You can see that fresh oil pan right here. This is your new redhead steering gear steering box. You can see it's a little red pop right up there on top. This took most of the slop out of the steering wheel, so that was a major, I would call it an upgrade, because that's an aftermarket part that's better than anything they ever put on factory. So right here, we don't have a good way to get up in this thing, and it's pretty tall to step up in. I mean, it's like an uncomfortable step. So we've looked at what's out there, and there's like a bunch of stuff on websites that's not available. They've got the hoop style deal that has to bolt in through your door seal, and then it's still a little wobbly. So I mean, it looks cool from out here, but as soon as you open your door, and functionally, I'm not a big fan of that. So I think what we're gonna do is build what's not available and build something awesome. So we're gonna go bolt all the way to the frame and come out, run down, and basically probably make like a rock slider, and then have a big hoop off of that we can actually bolt, unbolt, and like take off. So if we go on the trail, it'd be obviously harder to get in and out. We'll be able to unbolt that like you can on some of the new Broncos. We saw this on the new Raptor Bronco, and we saw it on the new Everglades Bronco, where you've got a rock slider, but then also a piece that very easily with simple tools you could unbolt. That'll give us the look, probably cover that in black Line-X, and it'll finish this side off right here and give us a little bit of protection too. Let's talk about what's next for my truck, the Wolf. This truck dynoed last time we had it on over like 866. I think we're probably at about 925 or 950 at the wheels right now, so well over 1,000 at the crank. We've kind of been in limbo on this thing. I can't drive it as a daily right now. With these tires, with as low as it's slammed, it's about impossible to drive, and I want a truck back. Sam's got this awesome truck he runs around in all the time, so we're going to change some things about this and probably put it up in a mean Baja 4x4 stance. We're working through those details right now and trying to figure out the best route to go. But before we do all that, the Wolf is going to eat. We've got a twin turbo and Whippled TRX from a subscriber, Jody Otwell, down in the Atlanta area. We're going to set a race up with him. That thing is like, it's over 1,000. It may be like 1,100 at the wheels. Obviously launching in four-wheel drive too, so there's no advantage to the Wolf here on being able to launch on the street. That race probably needs to take place on a drag strip, but I don't know that we'll be able to make that happen. If you don't know, we're here in East Tennessee. Bristol Dragway, Thunder Valley is right up the road, but they won't let this truck race there without having a full-blown roll cage in it because of the times. But we can go to Gadsden, Alabama, or we can go to London, Kentucky. So trying to line all this up with other people to race has always been a problem. That race will be us taking kind of a knife to a gunfight. But I think we may be able to do some things to really hop this up, try not to blow the motor, and have a chance in that race. The other race we're going to try to get before we change the lift configuration on this truck is a C8 Corvette. It's the blue Corvette that we had on this channel. It's been pro charged now by the new owner. The guy that bought it is actually a friend of mine. His son plays on my son's basketball team. He's local. They've pro charged it. It's like 200 or 250 more horsepower than it was stock. It's gonna be one heck of a race because that car gets off the line, even on the street. The launch control in that new C8 is a bad thing. So we're going to try to race both of those. I hope we don't take 2 L's. They're going to be epic races. That's what's next for this. We've got to change plugs. We've got to get some of the flat spots out of these tires from it sitting here. We've just changed the oil. We'll check the rear end out, get our suspension dialed in, and that's probably some of the next content you're going to see with the Wolf. I just want to let you guys know we haven't forgot about the Wolf, and this thing's going to get a whole lot more interesting going into the fall and winter.
Back in Mighty Muffler that got me taken care of. Let's see what it sounds like. Oh yeah. Yeah. She still sounds real good. Love love the sound of the Corsa. It's not too loud, but if you get into the pedal, it's pretty daggone loud. Let's crawl up in here and see what they fixed for me. All right, so they threw me a little weld on here and over here. So we don't have any exhaust leaks anymore. So we should be good to go. So I know you guys by now know I've been down a long road to get this exhaust running properly since I put long tube headers on it, removed the factory cats, had all my motor issues. We're finally at that point where I can say we're perfect now. Feels good to be at this point finally. We talked about this right here a little bit earlier in the video. We are going to go up to Pennsylvania. We're going to give Auto Vlog a run for his money. You know, he stepped out on us on the Ford community, went and bought a TRX. Now it's time to show him why he should have stuck with the big blue oval. Thanks for running around with us today. That's a day in the life. We'll catch you in the next one. Peace.